My name's Yvonne Harrison, Chief Executive at Greater Sport, and I have worked in Manchester for 15 years. Sport's really important to Manchester in terms of social and community impacts. You know, sport changes lives. It connects people to things in a way that other things can't. So if you think of some of our young people who've perhaps fallen out of the education system and maybe disaffected, you know, sport can hook them back into something positive. It can develop team building skills, self-esteem, your communication skills, all of those things that are vital in everyday life and community. The other side of sport, which is really important, is the fact that it keeps you physically active. If you're physically active, you know, you're likely to be more healthier. You're likely to actually achieve better career earnings as well through playing sport. And it also helps people to stay just connected to each other in their local community. You know, people build friendships, have social interactions. And if we think of the problems within Greater Manchester in terms of the NHS and the cost of that, people being physically active can stop people presenting at A&E with, you know, really acute, serious illnesses. So we can prevent some of the things that are happening in our society by being physically active and being involved in sport. So it's actually essential. I think looking into the future, sports impact in terms of community and social benefit will grow beyond where we are now, because you have public service reform here in Greater Manchester. You know, we have public spending needing to decrease, and yet the demand on public services is growing. So we're having to look for alternative ways to support our community development and support individuals to be well and take charge of their own health and well-being. And with that, sport and physical activity plays a huge role within our local communities. So I think its role will grow, and part of my role within Greater Sport is helping to advocate and influence people to see the difference it can make. In terms of where and how sport might continue to develop community and social impact, I think the biggest growth area is within the health agenda. So if we look at some of the challenges within Greater Manchester, you know, high levels of poor mental health, low school readiness sort of results, if you like. So our young people aren't deemed as school ready. We have people with you know, massive obesity issues, chronic heart disease. So actually, in terms of health and the contribution that physical activity and sport can make in those agendas, it's really, really significant. And then the other side of that is looking at sort of Manchester and its DNA as sport. You know, we've got the big football clubs here, cricket, rugby, you know, professional netball, you've got the Giants, you know, you've got just an array of sport, and people associate this great city with sport. So I think that will continue to grow. We've just had the Heroes Parade here for the Olympics, which was amazing. Very wet, but amazing nonetheless. And actually, we've got a massive concentration here of Olympic and Paralympic sport, and also female sport. So if you start to sort of bridge and pull some of that together, the opportunities to sort of influence and inspire particularly young people through talent programmes are immense. So I think it will continue to grow.